So, we're learning a few things. One thing I've just learned 5 minutes ago is don't lean on the table because it makes the camera wobble. So I'm going to move my chair back. Excuse me. I just realised that just now, just as I pressed the go live button, I realised I was mucking it up. Hello. I hope you're all good. Lovely, beautiful day. Really hot yesterday as well. So if you're joining me on replay, of course, thank you for joining at all. We've got some stuff to cover. This is the review of Enjoy Your Horse Club, an absolutely fabulous page which you need to be part of. And if you're not part of it, where are you? Go to www.carlgreenwood.club and join. It's a paid subscription, $4.99 a month, and there's how-to videos, written articles, readers' questions. Your questions will be answered if you've got any questions. Access to me. It's just fabulous, really brilliant. And people, sorry. The whole point is it's the people. The Enjoy Your Horse Club is the most sensible group of people of this is it. I've got a little phrase. It doesn't matter what your experience is. It doesn't matter what your anxiety level is or your confidence level is. It doesn't matter what you've achieved. It's whether or not you're enjoying your horse. The clue is in the title. Enjoy your horse. If you want to enjoy your horse, join the Enjoy Your Horse Club. If you want to be a nervous rider, join the Nervous Riders Club. It's real simple. If you want to be a confident rider, simply look at what the nervous riders do and don't do that. There we are. Lovely. Hello, Sandra. Loved reading your posts. Look, it's a bit hot, so I'm going to be taking. Normally, I have a cup of coffee, and I've got these. I love these. The custom press ones, elderflower. I've already drunk the rhubarb one. They always remind me a little bit of the famous 5 lashings of ginger beer. So yes, excuse me. Oh, nice. I could be an advert for those. Oh, that's nice. Lovely. Okay, lovely. Oh, excuse me. I'm just get myself. Oh no, I've ruined it. There we are. Anyway, oh no, look, I've got to move again. I've got a rant to do. It's been a while since I've done a rant. One of them isn't too bad a rant, it's more an observation, and the other one is an absolute rant. And I thought I would do them separately as pre-records on my Carl Greenwood page. And then I thought, nope, club members are here. They need to hear it straight from the horse's mouth. I can do it as a pre-record as well. Okay. I'll start with the not so bad one. I hope everybody. Oh, G&T. Oh, no, I'm not a G&T sort of person. Not really. Shall I start with the big rant or the little observation rant? Can't decide. And then, well, actually, no, I'll do them at the end, so we can actually get on with the club news. So, news is. As usual, if you're coming to the Rider Confidence one-day course, dates are on the website on www.horsebackcombat.co.uk, and we put up the dates 1 month in advance because we have a busy diary with films and bookings, media bookings. We tend to be a bit full of themselves, quite honestly. They tend to be a bit full of themselves, and they don't give us any notice at all. They're like, in fact, we had one yesterday. It was like, can I have 3 wolf dogs and a horse next Wednesday? So I don't want to be cancelling people. That's too short notice. So I don't want to be cancelling people. So a month in advance means if somebody calls us up, admittedly, next Wednesday is a bad example. But if I've got something booked in September and I've got all you lovely people coming to see us to do the Rider Confidence course, and then sometime in August someone says, oh, can I have 6 horses? I don't want to be phoning up and cancelling you. So I'm aware it's a bit of a pain getting booked onto this course. That's why it is. Very sorry. there we are. If you're wanting to join the ultimate online 3-month deep dive, psychology driven, get the change of mindset that is holding you back, then they're always open. So you can go to carlgreenwood.co.uk, and it's got all my products there, books and hypnosis and everything, and scroll down and you'll see where to apply for a place. Any other news? What other news have we got? I think we're good on the news. Confident Canter Camp. There's some places left. It's July the 22nd and 23rd. Let me just have a look at my... just check that. Was it the 21st and 22nd? July, excuse me, talking about yourselves. July the 22nd and 23rd. If you've got that little block that's stopping you from cantering, or that little block that's stopping you from feeling free cantering, or from galloping, or from going that little bit faster, you're fine at trot. You can quite happily scoot around at trot, but there's just that block. We've had 2 very successful confident canter cats, and they were confident to canter, and it was a great time, really nice. And that's a weekend camp, 2 days. We'll also show you how to cope with the rear, how to cope with falling off, how to cope with the horse falling over. But mostly it's this drive to get galloping like you've always wanted to, or get cantering like you've always wanted to, or some people just don't like the plunge when a horse, you ask the horse and it just gives a bit of a plunge, and and that unnerves people. All of those issues we'll have a little look at. So there we are. That's the end of the news. I feel as though we should have a little video now that kind of goes end of the news. There we are. I haven't got one. If anybody out there makes videos, maybe, can you make me some nice videos to intersperse the sections? Okay, so let's have a look at what's been happening in the Enjoy Your Horse Club. Oh yeah, really good comment. Really good. Let me just have a little think. So, best way to put this, you know, when you're going out on your horse and the farmers put some cows in the field over there where there weren't no cows before, and you come around the corner and you're on your horse and you look around the corner and it's like, oh my God, there's some cows in the field. Oh, my horse is going to explode. It starts to realise that the cows are there, and it starts to grow and snort and go a bit wild-eyed. And in fact, before that moment, you've already told it something's wrong inadvertently, haven't you? Because as soon as you come around the corner and see the farmers put cows where there weren't cows before, you go into this magic trance, a little spell that you think, if I don't move, the horse won't notice that there's cows over there, as if you moving would somehow cause the cows to suddenly become visible to the horse. You go into this little spell where you just glide around on top of the horse. It doesn't work, of course. The cows see you and they come over like zombies, don't they? Ooh, cow. And your horse grows 10 feet and snorts and goes wild-eyed. Your horse is suggesting that these might be lions or monsters of a different kind, or they might be about to come spilling out of the field onto the road. They're not. You know they're not. You can see that there's a fence, then another fence, and a ditch. And they're not coming onto the road. And what's more, you know they're not lions and not monsters. You know that they're cows. If you were to put your horse in the stable and walk back this way, you wouldn't even notice the cows. So you are utterly sure that they're cows and they're in the field and they can't get you. So when you're on the horse, we've got 2 brains working at it. The first brain is going, oh my God, they're lions. I'm sure they're lions. That's the horse. And your brain, which should be saying, well, what do you say? What do you say to yourself when you're not on the horse? When say you're walking back that way and you come around the corner What do you say to yourself about those cows? You don't say nothing. That's the point. You're going along on your phone or whatever you are, or you're going along quite happily along the road going, isn't it lovely today? Or you're like, oh, I'm a little bit late. I'm supposed to be meeting Michael up there. And I better get a shuffle on. Or you're thinking, oh, there's a bit of a stone in my shoe. Oh, that's annoying. Or you're thinking, the point is, you're just going up the road. You're not thinking nothing about the cows. So why on a horse do you then start putting your brain through the horse's eyes? And this is what people tend to do. They start looking at the world through the horse's eyes, putting your mind down into the horse's eyes, where those cows might be lions and they might be about to jump out of over the ditch and kill us all. Surely it should be the other way around. Surely you should bring the horse's mind into yours. Well, sure, I say surely. I suppose it depends on what the reality of the situation is. And there's only one of you, out of you and your horse, that can say what the reality is. And that's you, because you're the clever one and you understand the way of the world, you understand the way of humans. So you can firmly say that these are cows, therefore you're in the right, therefore bring the horse's brain up into yours, not the other way around. Come the day when you go around the corner and the farmers put a load of lions in the field and taken the fence away, by all means then I will put my mind into the horse's eyes and I will do whatever it says, because I'm sure it's as better equipped to run away from the lions than I am. But until that moment, I'm the one that's got it right. So what we're going to do, I'm going to act like I act if I was walking on my own. Look, I've got to communicate to the horse somehow, not to make a fuss about these cows, because they're not lions, they're just cows. I've got to communicate that somehow. Now, I could write a strongly worded email, which will rely on A, having good internet coverage, and B, the horse being able to read and understand English. Neither of which it can do. I could do it in semaphore. I could speak in any human language at all. It wouldn't understand, from Swahili to Lebanese to English, doesn't understand. So the way I communicate to the horse that everything's fine and this is how it's supposed to be is by doing the thing that I would do if I was walking, which is looking up there, going up there. If I think the horse is a little bit anxious and the horse is questioning and it's like, is this safe? Well, action beats anxiety is one of my mantras. Action beats anxiety, and the action of looking up there, going up there will become even more so. So here come the cows. Horse asks the question, oh my God, what's going on? And I'm going, get up there in the most splendid extended trot that you can do with a rhythm and consistency that would make my instructor wet herself to see me do so well. You will have this much under your hind legs and this much on your forelegs and this much in your contact, and get on, rhythm, consistency. Nowhere in that set of instructions was anything to do with anything's. It just wasn't there. Just in the same way as if I was walking and it's like, oh, I've got to go and meet Michael. I'm a bit late. Up. Walk on. Don't worry that it's hot. So the horse will ask the question, and you must give the answer, and the answer will be, do the thing that we're doing. I often hear people say the answer will be, ignore the cows. By saying ignore the cows, you're bringing attention to the cows. You can't think what you don't want. For example, if I would say to you, I want you to not think of a frog. Now you're all thinking of a frog. I want you to not think of a pink and blue striped frog playing the banjo with a straw hat on, smoking a cigar. Look what you're thinking of. You can't say don't, ignore that thing. You've got to say do. Don't say don't, and do say do was a phrase that I failed to make stick about 3 years ago. I might have a go at that again. Don't say don't, and do say do. So what are we doing? We're going with the rhythm and consistency, and what I'm doing is riding my horse. There we are. So the horse asks a question, and my answer is do the thing that we're doing. I've got this, is what I'm saying. I would not be schooling you into doing a beautiful extended trot if they were lions. I promise. That's absolutely true. I wouldn't. I'd be running away again. I don't know this at all. Of course I wouldn't be schooling it. So this is what we're getting through to the horse. I would not be calmly telling you what to do if they were lions. Horse asks question, I give the answer. Action beats anxiety. Ride the horse in the way that you wanted to ride the horse. So anyway, back to the subject. This brilliant comment came in from one of the members of the Enjoy Your Horse Club. And if you're not in the Enjoy Your Horse Club, getting it quick, go to carlgreenwood.club, not .co.uk, carlgreenwood.club, and you can join it there. And the member said, I heard my horse ask the question and I felt myself answer it. Isn't that lovely? From listening to the conversations that we've had in the club, I heard it and I answered it. And of course, the horse was reassured then, because of course, someone's telling you exactly what to do. Tell me what to do, and the anxiety goes. If you're in a bit of a situation and someone comes up who knows the way of that situation, there's a film, I think it's called First Night, and maybe it's Richard Gere who's running along, and there's all these Indiana Jones balls and rotating things like that Wipeout game and knives going across, and he has to. If you went into one of those courses, if you went into a warehouse full of swinging knives and this and that, imagine if you're terrified, you're with a little fella here who knows exactly what to do, and won't tell you. That's what it feels like to the horse. For the cows come over, you know exactly what to do. You know exactly that they are cows, and were you not on the horse, you would simply be getting a march on to go and see Jeff. And that's the answer. Tell the horse to get a march on with a perfect form and as good a horse riding as you could possibly do. You know the cows are fine. You know what to do. And you don't tell the horse. You spend your time looking through it through the horse's eyes, going, "Oh, he's worrying that the cows are going to come over the fence. He can't see the electric fence there. He doesn't know. He doesn't know that those cows are whatever." You're not thinking of what you do want. So anyway, get back to the story. I digressed again. The lady says, "I heard the horse ask the question. I gave the answer." And of course, the horse was fine because it was reassured. Really poignant little sentence came after that, going, I suppose the horse must have been asking the question every time in the past, and I ignored it. I just thought that was insightful, very self-aware. I just loved that. I thought that was marvelous, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to mention that on the live at 5. How is everybody? Thank you for joining. Give a little hello to Maggie and Sandra and Joe and Wendy and Samantha. Thank you very much. Oh, any tips? I might not have tips. Let's have a little look. I can't see that. Hang on. Any tips when your horse just stops dead and walks backwards at 90 miles an hour? Stop still and refuse to move. My instant go-to for that, now, of course, let's start at the beginning. Don't take advice from some random dude over the internet who hasn't even seen your horse and says, "Oh yes, oh what you need to do is this." So you need to get someone out to see it, because I can't see it, obviously, because I'm on the other side of your computer, and you can't see it. Eyes on the ground are absolutely fabulous, because you might think that the horse is doing A, B, or C, but you can't see that its eyes are wild and frightened. Equally, you can't see that its eyes are utterly calm and it's just doing this behavior that it learned ages ago, that means it gets out of doing an evasion. So you can't see that because you're busy struggling and wondering and possibly being frightened. So there you go. There you go. The answer is get someone in to look. Don't trust some random guy off the internet going, I can solve your problems with your horse. Having said that, my instinct is, because the question was any tips, my tip would be, when your horse stops dead, is presumably that's some kind of napping and it's happy to turn around, and once it's turned round, I'd then reverse past the sticking point and turn around and go again. That's somewhere in there, because that's worked so many times, getting past a dead badger, getting past out on an happy horse, getting endlessly. The horse stops and is like, oh, I'm not going forward, and it turns around wanting to go home, and it's like, all right, then you can turn around. And now we're reversing past where it was sticking. The horse doesn't, there's no point rear. If we were facing the other way and I was just kicking it, it might rear, it might spin, it might start getting upset, but it's not going to rear when I'm looking the other way and going backwards. Yeah, moonwalk. That's it. Moonwalk, walk your way past. Obviously, I can't see it, and you might immediately put an answer going, no, that's a rubbish idea. It won't do that because A, B, or C. There we are. Marvelous. No, thanks everybody for joining us. What else we got? So that was really good. Oh yeah, the lean back. If you saw the video last week, so on the live at 5, if you look down the Carl Greenwood page, I spoke at length about the benefit of leaning back to get a feeling of relaxation, a feeling of professionalism, to lose the feeling of being frightened, and that goes through to your horse, and it adds in another layer of suspension using your hip flexor joint, if that's the name of the thing. If you're in the club as well, I actually got on my horse and made a how-to. So here is exactly how to do the thing that I was saying on the page. And I've had marvellous results from it. Marvellous. Seven different posts, maybe even more, from people saying it works so well. Now, the point of the lean back, if you're a horsey person and you're saying, oh, I've never heard that before, horsey terminology sometimes gets people lost from the word go when they're first starting, they're too embarrassed to ask, and then for the rest of their lives they don't know what you mean by disengage the hindquarters. I don't know what you mean by a contact. I don't know what you mean by sit deep. I don't know what you mean by lift your rib cage. So just putting it in real simple English for everything except jumping, for everything. And from my time teaching actors, lean back to go, lean back to stop, lean back to turn. It just works. And the proof in the pudding is, over the last week, I've had at least 7 posts saying how well their horses have responded, which has made me super happy. Lovely. Okay, so what's next? Next, I'm going to need to get this, is question of the week, which I'm marvellously pleased to see. But the reason why I've got to now have a little pause while I find the answer is because Zana wrote the most splendid article that on the Enjoy Your Horse Club, I'm going to have, I've got a section in the guides. That's the lesson, the guides section. If you find the hamburger stripes and click on them, If you're on mobile, you'll find the guide section, and all my how-to videos are there. How to train your horse to desensitize it to bicycles, how to deal with the hot-headed horse when it's anticipating the cantery gallopy bit, how to ride one-handed, how to mount off a log, how to train your horse to stand still, how to get your horse used to the mounting block, lots of mounting, how to. And I'm going to start another section for the written articles, because we've got a couple of written articles that are now getting lost down the page. That is the problem with the Carl Greenwood page, and why it's so good to have the club, because then all this wisdom will be in a section where you can find it. So the written articles, and this is it, the answer to question of the week. Enjoy Your Horse Club. Just talking about sales while I find this. Another written article went up today, which was good. Speak of myself. Oh, well, look, while I'm not saying anything, I might as well have a little drink as well. Elderflower. Okay, here we are. It's so good that I just have to read it out. I thought I'd share this email I sent someone who'd inquired about the Rider Confidence course and had a new horse and had lost confidence. Here's my response. It might just help somebody else. So, for a bit of help now, in the meantime with your new horse, be aware that it does take months and months to form a relationship with a new horse. So just remember the groundwork and the bite-sized steps. We have a younger horse here. Well, he's 8 now, and I've only started hacking him out 3 months ago. I've had him 2 years because we just weren't ready for those next steps. My groundwork is 80% ridden. No, my groundwork is 80% and ridden 20%. Because if my horse isn't spot on when I lead him, feed him, wash him, tack him up, mount him, and so on, then that already tells me how the ride will go. He's already saying, I'm not listening to you, as I don't know who you are, and I don't trust you, and I've never heard your voice. We have a saying at the Centre of Horseback Combat here, don't be brave, be really well trained, and that applies to both horse and rider. So make sure you are working at the level you are at, not at step 10 instead of step 2, and then risking metaphorically falling down the stairs. Horsemanship and relationship and trust is the key to success, and that takes time. But remember, the point is to enjoy the journey. You have to prove to your new horse that you are worth listening to, and that you've got this, and that you've got them. Life is then easier for all our horses. I always say it's not about me, it's about what my horse needs, and that's at all times. So just make sure that your basics are fantastic, you have a good relationship with your horse before moving on. We also do the bite-size hack here. Just 2 minutes as we set ourselves up for success. 3 minutes, actually. Just to be accurate. Just going off piece there. 3-minute hack. Take a companion horse, a good schoolmaster, and pick your people. Take a confident friend also, not a nervous Nelly. And head off for just 2 minutes. Come back, no drama, just fun and progress like this. Build on the foundations before moving on. Actually, now I'm thinking about the horse that Zana's talking about. It is 2 minutes for her. 2 minutes, 3 minutes for me and Bullseye. Remember, horses are super safe and capable, but just need... Remember, horses are super safe and capable, but just need clear, consistent rules and instruction for their rider and leader. Enjoy your horse. So well written, so absolutely spot on. People get their horse, and sometimes the day the horse arrives, they jump on to see what it would do. Which, if you get away with it, you forever go, you don't want to muck around with horses like that. You just jump on and see what they do. But if you don't get away with it, what you see they do is they explode all over the place because they don't know who you are. Personally, I'm not that brave, so I go for trained. I would rather be trained over brave any day of the week. I would rather be trained than anything, really, and the horse is trained. I would put more faith. Would you rather? Here's a would you, right, okay, would you rather? You can have one of these options. You can have all the safety gear, puffy air jackets, the latest, grooviest safety hat, everything. Or you can have none of it and be on a really well-trained horse. Okay, step one. You're on a poorly trained horse, but you've got all the safety gear. Or choice two, you've got no safety gear, but you're on a really well-trained horse. Personally, I'd go trained horse every time. Every time. Because I'm a bit of a coward. I'm a bit of a coward and I'm not very brave. I just like to know that I'm going to be safe. And the best way to be safe is make sure that you're on a trained horse. You know what you're doing. Horse knows what you're doing. Do it in bite sizes. Build that. And it's like, oh, you know what? I am going to be safe. And then you build it up more and more. And you go, actually, this horse is safe. And then as you get through your horse career, you're like, you know what? This horse is safe. This horse is safe. Actually, horses, if you use them right, of course, horses are safe. And that's how I start my book. First sentence, horses are safe. Yeah, that's my opinion. Anyway. Right, okay, we've reached the end. I am now going to have my little rant. I hope I haven't been going too long. There's no timer here. I don't know how long I've been going, but never mind. I'm gonna have my little rant anyway. I might do them separately as well. Oh, hang on. Hang on, look. There's a hen getting chased by a peacock. Leave him alone. Get out the door. Get out the door. The door's there. Get out the door. Linda, get out the door. Oh, you need. Oh, God. Hang on. Get out. Andrew, leave me alone. Oh, fancy man. Go. I'm going to do a broadcast here. Sorry, Dolores. That was Dolores. She's all right now. She's not very happy, but she's all right. Okay, lovely. So, first of all, observation. How can I put this? Wouldn't it be marvellous if there was a school of experienced horse people dedicating themselves to producing horses that were unfazed by other horses racing past them, that had spent every day when these horses were young putting them in a place where other horses would race past them, and they were constantly trained not to be at all alarmed about that. Wouldn't that be marvellous? Wouldn't you want one of those horses? Imagine if they did that for like 2 or 3 years and they gave the horses to you. That'd be marvellous. Well, there is such persons, and those persons are from the race industry. Race horses are trained for 80% of the time to not race. You've seen how a race goes. It's like they hold them back and they hold them back, and all the horses are passing and they hold them back. Not yet, not yet, not yet, not yet, not yet. And they're trained like that day in and day out for years and years. Well, not years and years and years, because they get rid of them when they're about 3. But anyway, they've trained like that since they were young to not race off. It's amazing. And then I've had so many people say, oh, you can't expect my horse to stay still because it was an ex-race horse. One of the reasons why it's an ex-race horse was because it wasn't winning anything. So after all that holding it back and it was time to race, it's like, go on then! And it was, I'm not really that bothered, mate. And the assumption that a racehorse was born to race, trained to race, all they've ever done is race, is the opposite of what I've observed anyway. The total opposite. That I can see how these people could possibly worry the racehorse owners so much that now they feel that they're sitting on a bomb and they don't want to go and get the horse going because they're like, oh, the horse has done nothing but race. The horse has done nothing but race. Rubbish. The horse has done nothing but hold back while other horses go past. There we are. So what I'm saying is, don't snatch defeat out of the jaws of victory just because somebody says something and then you start repeating it without using the model up here. There we are. Which brings me to my final rant. Is anybody still with me? We've got 10. Oh, we've got 45 people with us. Marvellous. Final rant. Don't feel that you're sitting on a bomb, was what I just said a moment ago. And somebody has produced, stupid people, somebody's produced a video doing the rounds now of various horses being tickled on their little hairies on the side, on their sides, so that their skin trembles, and then they're saying, see how sensitive they are. Oh, if a fly lands on them, they tremble, they react to a fly. Oh, look out. What are you hoping to achieve with this video, especially if it's going on the nervous rider groups? These people are nervous already. They're not going to lose the feeling that they're sitting on a bomb. If you're going to the trouble of getting your camera, getting your finger and tickling the little hairs on his side of his rib cage and filming it tremble and then going, look how sensitive they are. Absolute stupidity if you want people to feel confident in their horse and that they can give it a signal and it's not going to blow up. Yes, horses do tremble when you get your fingers or little fly lands on them and it's... I had a horse once that got into the field with the Shetland Stallion. This was a big horse, got into the field with the Shetland Stallion, and the Shetland Stallion decided he wanted to do something unspeakable to this horse and ran around biting its heels to try and make it fall over so it could be unspeakable. And this big horse was kicking the Shetland Stallion in the head with the double barrels, and the stallion was just ignoring it and carried on, and we all had to run in and separate them. So yes, on the one hand, flies do annoy horses, but equally, at the other end of the scale, they can put up with all sorts of nonsense. Flies annoy Putin. Do you remember Putin? And everyone was like, oh, look, his arm doesn't work properly because he's got this mosquito. He was annoyed. And then he went to go and blow up Ukraine. So he's not that sensitive, is he? I bet you could put into Google, fly annoys Frank Bruno, Mike Tyson, people who do clonking around really hard. Oh, Dolores, I'm going to have to come and save you. But yeah, don't make stupid videos about how a horse reacts when a fly lands on it and expect people to feel more confident about riding their horse. We're not talking about flies. We're talking about riders. It makes me so mad. Anyway, if you would like to join the Enjoy Your Horse Club, then go to carlgreenwood.club. See you there. But leave a comment, please. And I'll get back to it maybe. Bye. Thanks for listening.